Hello, my friend, and welcome back. Today, I want to start our week off with a little card pull, and let's see what message the divine has for us for this week. Ooh, so we pulled a card we've never pulled before. Dance with life. Do something to change your energy. Wow. What a beautiful card. So, the feeling that I'm mainly getting is that it is important to change it up sometimes, even though we can't help but be in the change of life, because life is change. Remember, life is not the spice of life, life is change. Or change is not the spice of life. Did I say that right? Change is life. Sometimes we need to consciously bring a change in, because life will provide us with the changes that we need and, put things in our place that we are very much been wanting or needing or not knowing that we want or need. But sometimes there is a different neurological effect is for when we choose to make a change, because something else happens inside of our psyche that makes that change a little bit more powerful. And especially when life brings you a change, you might have resistance to it because it can be something that is just sprung upon you. But when you are choosing to make that change, you are choosing to change it up, however big or small that might be, or whatever direction you might decide to go in, there's typically less resistance. And I say less resistance and I don't say no resistance, because a lot of times when we make a change, we will still feel a lot of that fear, a lot of that egoic fear, and a lot of that thinking mind of, well, what's going to happen? What if it doesn't work out? Is this really the right kind of change you want to be making right now? All kinds of things can start to go through our head. But what this card wants to remind us of is that when we do something, we decide to make a change, it can affect our energy in a really, really good way. Because deciding to make a change and having those fears and still deciding to move forward anyways can really change up your vibration and can really add a lot to your self-efficacy. It can add a lot to your confidence, and those things can really change your vibration on a subconscious level, because that is kind of the goal that we are getting to. We really, in spiritual work, with doing the inner work, with doing the affirmations, journaling, whatever it is that you are choosing to do to help aid in your inner work, is a lot of it is training your subconscious brain to think in the way that you would want it to think over the way that it has been trained to think for however many years old you are. So that conscious training is really just trying to train your subconscious, because your subconscious is what creates your reality. That is where your beliefs are stored. So that is where, beliefs create your reality. So when you change your beliefs, you can change your reality. So that stuff is stored in the subconscious. So that is what we want to be influencing in the way we want it to be influenced. And that is why social osmosis is so powerful, because it's actually influencing your subconscious. So the things that you feed yourself, feed your mind, the entertainment, the people that you surround yourselves with, all of that affects your subconscious. And that is where that osmosis comes in, that social osmosis, because you don't really even realize that it's going on, but it is happening. It's because it's happening in your subconscious. And when we make active choices to make changes in our life, it can affect things that affect our subconscious. Because say you decide to do that and it works out well for you, that experience is then stored in your subconscious, and your brain says like, okay, so we've done we've done this and we've succeeded. So the next time something like that comes up, you might be less fearful, because in the back of your mind, your subconscious has that subconscious confidence that everything worked out before when you had that feeling. So why don't we follow that feeling again? Because I think that it might work out again. And you, of course, might become, still experience fear and whatnot, but every time you do it, it will be less and less. And just like anything else, like, because that first time is carving that neural pathway, so the second time, the third time, the fourth time, each time will get easier and easier. And that is kind of the same thing with doing something to change your energy and being in the dance with life, to dance with life, because life is not meant to be rigid and fearful and, for lack of better words, to be that serious. I mean, we are immortal spiritual beings having a temporary human experience, and an experience that we possibly have over and over again. Even in this specific experience, you may live, you don't know, you might actually have lived this specific life before. You might live it again. So with all of that in mind, and when you think about the oneness and the connection of, the earth and how grand it might be, our lives here are not negligible. We matter, of course, but it's just maybe not that serious. So when you feel like you're making a big decision and it's going to affect everything for the rest of your life, then that's okay. And the other thing that I'm learning is that you can work and adapt in a lot of different situations. Like, you can work with this. So even if you do something and it doesn't work out, you can still work with that and go from there. It's not going to be an unworkable situation. It might not be the situation that you right now might want, but who knows, in the future, when you make a decision and you change things up and it doesn't work out for you, but you learn from it, you probably in the future will be like, I would never have taken that. I would never redo that. I would never take that away because I learned so much from it. And we have to keep those things in mind, that when we are making these big decisions and we are going forth and we are experiencing these times, I have been realizing that I have been letting the collective fear really influence me and my life and what I've been doing with my life. And I am starting to really rethink all of that, and to rethink about like, okay, like if I am truly that powerful creator, then I can make these changes and I can shake things up, and why not? Why not? Like, yes, the world might be going a little loopy right now, but again, is that my belief? And what if I were to choose to see the kindness and the oneness and the mass awakening that's going on right now, and all of the light that is pouring onto our planet, and all of the wonderful things that are coming up to be healed? What if I were to look at life in that way? Would I be so fearful to make these changes? Would I have so much fear around being in the dance with life? Because, I don't know about you, but my ultimate goal is I want to be in that dance with life. I want to be in the flow. I want to be hearing my intuition loudly and clearly, and to know what my gut is telling me to do. I want to be in that dance with life. And sometimes for us to get into that dance with life, we need to change things up. Sometimes our whole energy just needs that shake up. We really need to shake things up sometimes. And I feel like that's not even a spiritual thing. Think about a lot of times when people go through, something big in their life, they need a change. Why is it, how many times, and I think girls can relate to this more, like, you go through a breakup and you cut your hair and you cut it drastically, or you dye it a totally different color, or you move. All of those things are really the divine inspiring us to change things up, to shake it up, so we can shake up our energy and we can start with a fresh new, like from a fresh new energetic perspective. Because sometimes we need that, because sometimes we get too deep and too buried into this perspective. Doing a change is a way to break you out, to shake things up, and to give you that fresh perspective of let's embrace everything that life has to offer. And staying stagnant and staying in the same place isn't exactly embracing everything that this wonderful human experience has to offer. Because we have to remember that this human experience is amazing, is wonderful, is one that so many divine beings want to have, and we were the lucky ones to get this experience. That's why the present is a gift. That's why this reality is a gift. This experience, this specific human experience is such a gift, and we need to start embracing that. And I know that we might feel like, oh gosh, like we're in end times right now, but remember, there is no real end. Life always continues on. The divine always continues on. There's no way to end the divine. You cannot create or destroy matter. So there is no end. But what we have to do is embrace it. And part of raising our vibration, which is so important right now, which we have been talking about, is shaking it up, is starting to discover the new and wonderful, amazing things that this life has to offer. And changing it up is a way for us to do that. And it is a way for us to kind of give us that fresh start and that fresh beginning in an area of our life that we might really be wanting it. So I want to ask you, what is something that you are going to do or you can do to change up your energy, to be more in the dance of life? I don't know what it is for me. I have an idea. I'm not going to share it yet, but I'm really going to be reflecting on this. And I love that we drew this card. I think, oh, I dropped it. It's such a beautiful message and such a beautiful way to start off our week, although it applies any day of the week. I just happened to be filming this on a Monday, and I wanted to see what kind of message there was for the week. And I love this message. Let's see what we can do. Let's shake shit up. And let's see what happens, and let's see what kind of magic can ensue. So that is our message for today. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Anne, and I hope to see you tomorrow.